Understanding this one thing will make you millions with your e-commerce business. And I know this because I've helped over 200 e-commerce brands up to this point hit record revenue months, whether it's their first 10K, 20K, all the way up to 100K per month. And I also co-founded a brand in 2013 with my brother from the kitchen bench. We started from zero and it now does multiple 7 figures per year. So what I want to go through is extremely important. It's something I talk about and remind my paid clients within my community, Ecom Blueprint, all the time. And it's something that is so often missed and so often underrated that it does truly cost people tens of thousands of dollars, and within our community, hundreds of thousands, even millions over the course of a year, because they don't truly understand this one thing I'm going to explain. So I'm going to go through exactly what it is and how you can obviously mitigate this in your business so that you can capitalize on the opportunities. So the thing that I'm actually talking about is the psychological or position change of how you think about your customers. All right, you probably hear people all the time saying, know your customer, get inside their mind, market to their wants, needs, desires, etc. That's kind of the basis of it, but I want to explain it in a different way. And it's basically literally understanding from their perspective, putting your customer's hat on, literally put yourself in their position, okay? That in itself is going to help you understand what you need to do next and how you need to position yourself, okay? So let me just firstly preface it with the problem. As business owners, we know that we're good people, we know that we're trustworthy, we know that we won't do wrong by our customer, generally speaking, let's call it. However, when we are a customer ourselves, when the shoe's on the other foot, we think entirely differently, okay? It might be that we've had bad experience in the past ourselves, or we've been in this industry long enough to know that there's some snakes out there or something like that. We just have a very mistrustful attitude to how we buy these days, okay? I myself have been scammed several times and it impacts my purchasing behavior. And when you pull that into your business, it helps you cover bases that you may not be actually looking at. Let me use a couple of examples. So a really big thing that we notice within our community is a lack of, call it social proofing, social trust. So a lot of people, they know that they need to do customer reviews, they know that they need to have some apps going to do customer reviews, and yet they don't prioritize it as important enough to really take action and really get the responses and the reviews up on their site, right? They might be hovering around 2, 3, 4 reviews, sometimes 10, sometimes 20. When if I ask them the question, what's going to make you buy from this brand or this brand, it might be on Amazon or it might be some other industry that they're interested in as a consumer, they'll say 100% that brand, because they've got 10 times more reviews. I can see how their customers were dealt with. I can see how the problems that were solved. I can see that they're a trustworthy, reputable brand, right? So, and then again, the question to me is, well, what do you think you should do with your brand? How do you think people perceive you? And until they understand this, or that they understand this perspective, they almost get shocked, because they're like, well, I'm trustworthy, I'm a good person, I run an honest brand. And that's true. But if we're not thinking about it from people who have been burned, scammed before, skeptical, then we're no better, or we can't prove ourselves to be any different from anybody else, right? So my number one thing here is to share your customer's skepticism. That's probably what I'd say. Assume that every single person that sees you, your website, your brand, your socials is skeptical. You just have to. And that then gives you the license and drive to cement in their mind that you need to prove yourself over and over and over and over. And that's motivating, but that obviously needs to come through effort, prioritization, and content, right? Pushing for content non-stop, right? Because if I said to you again, okay, I guarantee you $1 million worth of sales if you get to 100 reviews. How hard do you think you would push to get those 100 reviews? I'm gonna guess that you would push extremely hard. In fact, there would be nothing stopping you or getting in your way. Now, whilst there is not that direct line in the sand, let's call it, that yes, if you get 100 reviews, you're gonna get $1 million in sales. That's the urgency intent we actually have to have. And those that do have that, I've seen get phenomenal results, okay? So we're talking about, as I say, putting the shoe on the other foot. You have to really immerse yourself into your customer's mind, not just like, oh, what's this desire they have? What's this pain point? I'll kind of chat GPT it and, come up with some marketing line or subject header. You need to truly understand what they fear, okay, why they're not purchasing, get inside their mind, put your shoes in their, your feet in their shoes so that you can truly communicate with them appropriately. And then actually offer them the risk reversal, okay? What's the worst case scenario for this person if they buy? From me or from competitors. Because if you understand this and your competitors don't, you will absolutely have 1 or 2 up on them all the time because you're that one step ahead of I truly understand my customer, okay? So there's a couple of things that we can do here that hopefully you haven't thought about or at least prioritize that will be valuable for you. So let's go through them now. So firstly, think about your website experience. As a customer, again, from literally just go and look at your favorite website, whoever you buy from. Go and look at their website and say, if I'm going to buy from you again, or if I'm going to buy from you at all, what do I want to see? What do I expect to see? What will give me trust in you, drop the skepticism to make me feel like you're a trusted brand, an authority brand that I would buy from? Think about that, right? So it might be on the homepage, it might be having a really clear contact in terms of an email or even a phone number is even better. Even if it's a mobile number. Right? The fact that people can call you. In the early days of Karmic, we had a mobile phone number on the top of the page on our website, and it got calls. People legitimately called and said, I just wanted to make sure you guys are legit, that you're not scammers. They didn't say those words, but they wanted to know if we were legit, speak to a genuine person. Then when they spoke to us, we were obviously able to sign them up on the spot and take their money, put their order through. So 2 benefits. But by being available and showing that you're available provides trust and authenticity. So your website, again, think about what you want to see. When you go to a product page, you want to see reviews. I mentioned reviews. You want to see dozens of reviews, okay? Prioritize getting dozens of reviews. Typically, a good review rate, meaning customers to actually filling out reviews, is 5%, right? That sounds really low, but it's just the reality. So 5 out of every 100 people that buy from you that is, will leave a review. So how can we get that to 6, 7, 10%? What do we need to do? Let's prioritize that. Because the other thing with reviews, not just obviously the trust and authority with your brand or product, it's obviously you can put it into socials, you can put it into emails. It just provides a lot of trust coming from real people and obviously hits pain points, desires, and all those good things from other people's perspectives. So you want to see reviews, okay? We all look at reviews, okay? Again, and this is where people think I can get away with not having reviews. Why would I put that on? I'm a good brand and this is the best product ever out there. You don't want to see that as a customer. You don't want to just hear that. You want other people to hear that. So we should give ourselves no excuses, okay? You might want to see how the product works in terms of a video. You might want to see multiple angles. If might be skincare or homewares or something, you want to see what I often talk about, the perspective of the product. So you might want to see it in somebody's hand. How big's that cake of soap? How much is a dollop of shampoo? What's the fit and the size of the clothing on somebody? Okay, you want to really be clear and give people what you would want as a customer, okay? Really, really clear, as much information as possible. I never say provide too much information that it's overwhelming by any means, but you want to cover every angle and have no questions about what your product is, what it does, what it's useful for, and obviously that it's legit. All right, that's a good example of what you can do on site. Okay, I mentioned reviews. And then the same thing occurs when it comes to your social platforms. So when people go to your social platforms, are you posting regularly? Are you showing customer reviews and social content, UGC? Are people posting on your behalf? Are you showing unboxings? Are you just showing? Okay, again, if we're a customer and this is even perfect for, cafes and restaurants and things, we go to their Instagram page. We want to see what's on the menu. We want to see that they posted today or an hour ago, right? That they got stories every single day. Why, as brands, do we not feel that we have to provide that for our customers? Okay, it's just a mindset shift that really creates urgency with showing up with intent, providing value and content versus, I post once or twice a week, I do a story, most days, but kind of miss that. It's not good enough. What I'm basically asking to do is put that customer's hat on, understand what they want, what you would expect in terms of your standards, and raise your standards with what you provide to your customers and prospective customers in the form of content. And that is the service, that is the fit, that is the quality, right? The things that we talk about that we know we are as brands, that is what comes through with how we present ourselves and how much we care that they have all the answers that they need. So social platforms are as important because it's our database, it's another, shop front that we can display who we are, what we do, and who we help. So your socials are really, really, really important. And then the same thing comes through with our omnipresence. Okay, we talk about this quite a lot in the community. Omnipresence means following people around. Okay, whether it's email automations, whether it's retargeting ads, we want to show over and over and over and just build trust, build credibility, show the amount of reviews, show all the social content, It sounds repetitive, but that's exactly what is required. And that's the difference between those that don't get off the starting line making less than 10K per month and those that hit the millions in a year, is this repetition and reiteration and understanding the perspective that everybody is skeptical. You need to earn everybody's trust through everything that you do. And you do, once you win that customer, then they're in your ecosystem, they see the product for themselves, they can feel that they're loyal, right? That's where things compound over time. But to get it in their hands initially, this is the sort of legwork that we need to do. And as I say, it takes manual work, it takes manual focus, and it's something that business owners really need to prioritize, hence why I'm spending such a long time on it today. But again, something that people in our paid community that pay us thousands of dollars to be a part of our programs prioritize, because we tell them that how essential it is. All right, and I'm basically just giving this to you guys on a silver platter so that you're able to go and implement this for yourself. Put the perspective of your customer on, okay? Really prioritize. Why would I buy from this brand? What do I need? What do I look for? Okay, build your trust and credibility, drop all the skepticism. What's gonna make you earn their trust and buy from you, all right? So I really hope this was valuable just to hear this, pretty plain and simple. You can see how obviously passionate I am about it, because I see it happening way too often. And it's not just the ad, it's not just the email, it's not just the content. You're doing all the hard work, hopefully, but it's these things that people neglect or miss. And it's only because they're seeing their own business owner's perspective that they're trustworthy, they're good people with quality products. I absolutely get that, but we have to put our hat on that someone doesn't know us, doesn't trust us, has been burnt before, and we have to earn their trust and obviously their purchase. All right, so I hope this was a great perspective. Go ahead and implement that. I guarantee you will make thousands, tens of thousands, and millions over your business journey by understanding this, because the best of the best do. They know every piece of content that they produce, every product that they roll out, they have to earn people's trust, earn their customers' purchase, every single one, all right? So look, hope that was valuable for you. Look, if you need help with your e-commerce business, I've got a video down below. Feel free to click on it, check it out. If it sounds like it might be worth talking about, obviously you can book a time to chat with us and see if we can help you out with your business. But if not, no stress. Other than that, if you like this, it was valuable, give me a like, put a subscribe, and feel free to drop a comment if there's anything else you want to know about e-commerce. I'm making these videos all the time. So other than that, I genuinely thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.